Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Thanks so much for clicking. That means a lot to you guys keep clicking. If you guys keep looking, I'll keep making. And today's video is gonna be a really fun one where there's this weird kind of duel going on between Omar and Drea on Twitter about what happened on Ponderosa after Omar was voted out. Apparently, Drea was threatening Omar and all types of other terrible stuff. And people who were kind of quote unquote standing Drea are now starting to turn on Drea. And it seems like Drea really is the bad guy here, as she's super salty, making extremely personal remarks, accusing Omar of doing things such as using his religion to his advantage in the game. Really bad stuff. And it really is an intricate web of censorship by CBS, them not airing Ponderosa because they didn't want this to get out there, and them censoring their post-game press on Twitter by not showing them talking about this event. But I have dug up a bunch of information thanks to Survivor Bandit content. Guys, go check out his channel. It's the top link in the description. If I forget it and you're watching this, tell me in the comments and I'll make sure to add it. For those of you in the comments who are continuously begging me to make Australian Survivor content, go check out his channel because he makes tons of that. And overall, this video is 100% possible because of the info that he gave me, so check him out. If you're new here, obviously subscribe, like, share, do all that good stuff because it's free and it's easy. That's it. Let's get into the video. So this whole story starts with Omar's tell-all with RHAP, or Rob Has a Podcast. In about the third hour of the podcast, Omar says this.
Opened up with like, you are a malicious, evil person who I have no respect for, that systematically eliminated people of color in favor of Jonathan and Lindsay. And we have no respect for you. And you're so lucky you didn't make it to the end because we would have embarrassed you in front of everybody at the final tribal council. Like, that's cuts very deep, I would say.
And there's plenty more from this 3-hour interview that Omar goes into depth about how Drea attacked him when he got to Ponderosa. The issue is that before I could pull the clips from this video, Rob took the video down. He definitely did not want this to be up on his channel, as we all know, and based off my past videos done on Rob has no backbone and doesn't want any sort of conflict happening at his channel, and that's why he never has an opinion on anything, so no one's ever even slightly offended by anything, and that's why his channel is very boring to watch. But he took the video down, so I'm gonna read off the quotes to you that I was able to gather from it. There could be more. If there is, let me know in the comments, but here are some of the quotes that Omar followed this statement up with. Omar continues saying, quote, "You want to acknowledge and validate their feelings. And so if they feel this intensely about me, there must be something that I did, or I must be a bad person," unquote. I disagree with this. I think the idea, obviously Omar is such an empathetic person and he obviously has similar political beliefs as Drea. And that he's using this idea that when someone comes out as the oppressee, that you must be the oppressor. You know, of course, Drea is coming out in this victim role. I don't necessarily think that makes Omar, some sort of oppressor of Drea. And obviously this is BS anyway. Even if it was true, though, I'm saying I really don't agree with that logic. But it just shows how empathetic he really is, that he's trying to find this flaw in himself that just simply isn't there, and it's only a figment of Drea's imagination. He also continues saying that, quote, "I think for a long time, even leaving the game, I thought it was a mistake to go on the show. I shouldn't have gone out there. I shouldn't have done any of that. I should have just not even done this experience because I tried to play a hard but fair game, but hurt people in a very deep emotional way that I wasn't intending to do." And again, this is just further proof that she really does make Omar feel horrible about just playing his game, and playing it probably the best that I've seen the game played since maybe Tony and Winners at War. So he's played the best in this new era of Survivor, which is very impressive. And yet, of course, Drea is making him feel awful about it. On top of that, Omar went into detail about what kind of lies Drea spread about him at Ponderosa. For one, he alleges that she would tell people that Omar, who is devoutly Muslim, would, quote, pretend to pray when he was really strategizing, unquote, and that Omar would consistently ask production what time it was under the pretense of knowing when to pray, when in reality it was to know, quote, how much scrambling time he needed. In addition, Omar shared the story of his father's death at some point in the game with some of his tribe mates, not including Drea. At Ponderosa, High, who was part of this convo, told Drea about it. She responded by saying that Omar was lying about that story entirely. This lie in particular kind of crossed the line for Omar. Omar said that, quote, "It's like, don't talk about my dad that way. That's crazy." He detailed a number of other hostile rumors that she spread, including one that he intentionally pit Drea and Chanel against each other, quote, "for things that are very sensitive and beyond the game," unquote. And that when she had told him about her knowledge is power advantage, it was, quote, "in a moment of weakness as they were bonding on race the morning after the episode 9 tribal council that went into kind of race issues," which obviously is very untrue. Anyone who's watched the show knows for a fact that these allegations are false, as Drea told Omar of her knowledge is power advantage 3 days later in episode 11. Omar explained how he felt in the aftermath of learning this, saying, quote, "to those who have twisted this into something that it wasn't in order to poison the jury against me and make sure that I lost on falsities is very hurtful. And when you touch on things like race, religion, and your family, and you lie on those and then systematically kind of put me down and on the outs, it was kind of crazy to experience that sort of social dynamic where you feel like you can't even express yourself or be normal." He also points out that, quote, "what you see on camera with Drea was not how the behavior was off camera." Now, there is kind of a happy ending here. In the months since, Omar has healed both himself and his relationships with the other jury members who were originally, understandably, upset with him. This was largely due to the grace of his friendships with Tori, Lindsay, and Chanel, who he had said he, quote, got to heal with on Ponderosa, as well as the psychologists provided by the show. Now, the one person who won't kind of make up with him is Drea. He has reached out to her, but she will not answer, and she continues to hold this grudge against him. And so I think overall, I personally think she's very justified in kind of losing her fan base here and the people who are kind of turning on her. I think it's crazy that she got the Sia Award, which is the award kind of given out unofficially by Sia to the person who she likes the best, when she's been the worst human being that we've seen from this cast up here. If these statements are true. Now, obviously, I'm going to assume what Omar's claiming here is true, as Omar really doesn't have anything to gain here and has so much to lose if he was to be lying. So I'm going to assume it's true. And if that's the case, this is awful. I mean, just making up lies about things that are way too far. This isn't even the game anymore. It's Ponderosa. There's no need to lie for any reason. Even lying on dead people, in the game is questionable, but lying on dead people outside of the game is unnecessary. And I think, to me, it shows Drea's lack of maturity and the place that she's at in life right now. But what do you think? Are you a strong team Omar person, a strong team Drea person? Let me know down in the comments. As always, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, I'm just a weird guy speaking a weird microphone. So as always, thank you. And if that's it, I'll talk to you guys in the next one.